Hi, hey everyone. Guess who survived the vacation? Not just you're gonna see smoke. That's a diffuser. I don't know if you can see it, but without it, it looks like my house might be on fire. You might be like, man, your house is on fire. Nah, it's just a diffuser. Okay, so we survived. We made it. The kids are outside playing with their neighbor. I love that. I I've been waiting for this time in their lives when neighbor kids come ringing on the doorbell and we don't hide thinking it's someone trying to sell Girl Scout cookies or, Boy Scouts or, anything else. Although I do always try to support those kids that go out of their way. It's so, I mean, I don't know. I'm always a sucker for it. As soon as if Boy Scout comes, Girl Scout, whatever, I just whoever it is, if it's a little kid trying to sell me something, I will purchase it. And I've purchased popcorn this in in March, and they're like, okay, well you'll get it in November. I said, okay, here's $25. We did get the popcorn, but all I knew was there was this kid out there just making his way, just trying to do what he could. And I appreciate it. Larry will hide from them. And these poor children on the this is about books also. But these kids will come and ring the doorbell and will ask if we are interested in supporting their, you know, yeah, whatever it could be, like their mission trip or Boy Scouts or their baseball team, T-ball, whatever it might be. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. And I turn to Larry, and he's like, no. I'm like, well, Grouch over there has got the money. Do you take credit card? Now they do. A lot of them do because they realize one, we don't always have cash, and also this room looks scarier there. And secondly, sometimes the lady of the house has a card. So we'll get something. But either but yeah, no, they're outside and they're playing with a friend. It's really cute. I love how the kids have really adjusted to being at this house and oh gosh, the neighborhood is so good. We miss our old house, we miss the memories, but when you find a great neighborhood with other kids that are around your kid's age, and then also even for Lane, he's hanging out with a kid that's younger, so it's Avery's age, but he wants to be a big brother so badly. Oh, so badly. And so he'll talk, he's very protective of this kid and just kind of like takes him in. It's really sweet. Anyway, so just some like fun things that I didn't think that I would really look forward to. I have beach hair. It is not cute. So those little things that I didn't know would be so like kind of tug at your heartstrings. Anyway, so if you are just now joining us, or if you watch this later, you're going to see about 3 minutes of me talking about this here. This is a diffuser. My house is not on fire. We survived our vacation. I am one who likes to support local Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and all that stuff. Larry's more of the curmudgeons, like, we don't got to. So that's kind of a recap of the past 3 minutes. Okay, so now let's get on to what I was really here to talk about. All right. So whenever I last dropped in, was I wearing the same shirt? I don't know. Maybe I was. I'm not sure. So, we were packing for a trip into Hurricane Hannah. Oddly enough, the trip back had more rain and weather craziness than the trip towards a hurricane. Go figure. That's weather for ya. And so, One thing I realized about this trip is that kids ask a lot of questions. Another thing I learned about, it's no secret, is that I make up a lot of the answers to the questions. Lane's big question was, why is the sea salty? Thank goodness for Google, because I just would make up any answer. I just, I don't know, why is the sea salty? There is so much that I don't remember from school. And Larry will say, it's a public school. He's like, your school failed you. I said, he's a geography major. Of course he knows why the sea is salty. But he doesn't want to admit that that's the reason. Right. So, what I realized, okay, first, kids ask a lot of questions, right? You're going on a road trip. There is a question for almost everything. There's no way you can be prepared. Did I know that I was going to maybe need to reference the history of the USA on the way to Rockport? I did not. We're going to Rockport. We're only going 3.5 hours away. We're not traveling the United States. It's not something to where we'd have to talk about how the pioneers made their way through and eventually all of this became the United States. And Larry laughs at me because I call them all pioneers. Settlers, pioneers, I know. Until we came across a roadway, a highway, and I believe it's called Texas Revolution Trail, Texas something trail. And so, of course, I talk to the children in the back and I tell them that this road once was, this road's called Texas Revolution Trail. Now I'm gonna have to Google that and I'll fact check myself. And then gave out my own rendition of how I imagined this roadway, this highway to have been developed and formed, and that this is where a lot of the battles took place. How did they fight? The children ask. With muskets and bows and arrows. I have no clue. This is why we need school to come back, please. Even with virtual learning, I'm trying. But I can maybe guarantee that there's going to be a lot of fact checking. All right, so if any of my kids come to school once people are back in class, and they start talking about muskets, which I feel like I can admit this to y'all because we're all friends. I called them mullets at first, and Larry was like, do you mean muskets? And also, you're still wrong. And if you're wearing a mullet, I just froze a little bit. If you're wearing a mullet, I'll recognize a mullet. I do. If you're carrying a musket, I will recognize a musket. Both of which I don't commonly come in contact with. So, forgive me. I don't know. Anyway, so this book here talks all about Texas independence. Is that fantastic? I showed y'all a little bit about this whenever we were doing 4th of July. And Lane was falling asleep next to me, and I looked like a wonderful mother. Just stay awake. Let's finish our book. He really did want to show the book, but sometimes I talk a while. I did spend 3 minutes talking about this not being fire and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and all that great stuff. So anyway, history of the U.S. If you are going on a road trip, apparently even to Rockport, which is 3.5 hours away, if you are just getting in your vehicle and driving around town, kids might ask questions about stuff. This was fantastic. So I didn't have it with me, but now that I do, I'm going to follow up with a Texas Independence right here. And what I love about this book is it has these great overlays. Okay, so we're going to start off here. How many of y'all are homeschooling for the first at least 4 weeks of the school year? Raise your hand. Raise your hand sadly. Yeah. A lot of us are. Raise your hand if you feel so super confident that you can homeschool. Some of y'all. Okay. I'm not one. Wait. But this is fantastic. So if you open it up, this book here is, so it's $24.99, guys. I get it. It's pretty pricey. But if you look at the detail in each page, look at that die cut out pages. I did not say that correctly. It's a die cutout. It's a cutout. Look. Oh my gosh. So it starts off with the, let's see, 1770. I'm looking at, all right, 1770, 1790. Okay, so this is when the Green Ups came. I tell the kids, I go, okay, so when the Green Ups came, that's my maiden name, in case y'all didn't know by my name on Facebook. Green Up. It's not my middle name. My parents didn't middle name me Green Up. They middle named me Joe. So I'm Amanda Jo Greenup, and I'm Amanda Jo Greenup Yawn. But, so I talk about this, and it says here so the 13 colonies, what territory is what, Declaration of Independence, all that great stuff. Very interesting facts, very neutral, I would say. I know that whenever it comes to history, there are, even if you look at your textbooks, history is just something that I think can bring a lot of bias. There are probably other subjects as well, but history is just based off of other people's accounts of things. And so, oh my gosh, I mean, if you ask Larry and me the history of our children's first 2 years of life, I'm going to tell you, it would be way different. Our books would look very different. Yeah. His book of Lane's first 2 years of life and him as a new dad would look much different than my first 2 years as a new mom. So history, yeah, taking into account who is writing what. Anyway, so here, what I like about all of this, it's hard to show y'all both sides of the cutouts, but this is all, it builds upon each other. And it says mom needs a mimosa. I have not had a mimosa yet, but I might have one later. Okay, so you see that, and then it, hold on. Okay, so I'm going to show you a second right here. All right, watch this side. And I'll watch this side. Okay. So it just, now California is discovered. I'm on this side. I am not a weather person. Boop. You know how you always wanted to be a weather person as a kid? Did anybody? Show of hands. I raised my hand up real high. Yes, I wanted to be a weather person. They were so cool. How you get to just show the weather, talked about it, and pointed to screens. And now I realize doing this, it's so backwards that it's like a mirror image. Okay, so it talks about the gold rush, talks about California, but everything just kind of built upon itself. So whenever Lane asked, and Avery, mainly Lane asked about the Texas Revolution and what all that George Takei, all my Star Wars friends are going to hate that I can't pronounce. George Takei, he made it. Star Wars, Star Trek. Making enemies. I don't know the difference. Anyway, so just a really cool book, guys. I absolutely recommend checking it out. If you have a kid that's going to be taking a history lesson, so this goes 7 and up. It's wonderful information, fantastic, beautiful graphics, and a great visual way to learn how the United States came to be, what it is today. How, what was the progression of each state? What was the territory prior to? Who were the important people involved in the progression of the United States? Who is, who is Harriet Tubman? Who is, or who are Lois and Clark? Who are these people who were involved in all of that process? A lot of great people. Honestly, I would not know most of these people. I love how it has so much great information. And Louisiana Stanley Wilson, she traveled across the country at 2 miles per hour by wagon with her husband and 2 sons in the search of gold. While cooking over the campfire one evening, a fellow traveler smelled her cooking and offered her $10 for a biscuit. And so it says here, that's more than $200 in today's money. Louisiana realized she could earn her fortune cooking for miners and cowboys and eventually opened a hotel in California. Who knows about Louisiana Stanley Wilson? That's fantastic. What an awesome thing to learn about as we talk about who travels, how United States became to be, how the travelers went from one place to the next, and all that entailed. And all of this started from a little simple question of Lane asking about a road that we traveled in on our way home from Rockport. So if you're just now joining, the road was Texas Revolution Trail, Texas something trail, and I was getting all sorts of facts mixed up. Anyway, another question that Lane asked over and over again. I hear them now downstairs. You hear them? You hear the dogs? Let's see. Hold on. Hey. Oh, they're friends here. Hey guys. Hi. I'm doing a video. They have a friend over. That would be weird if I invited their friend into the video without permission. Okay. Take this on your trip. Okay. I took this, which was amazing, the travel games pad on our trip, and you can see we used so many of these pages. These are just a few, but they're fantastic. It's a travel game pad. It's less than $6. It's $5.99. $5.99 for this. They also have another one that we didn't dive into, but it was the travel activity pad. So there's the games pad and the activity pad. We didn't even have a chance to really look through here, so I'm not sure, but there's more. This looks like more activities, things that you do. So here, drawing, finger puppets, all that stuff. This one is actual games. Find the difference, card bingo, stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. Love it. I thought for sure this is all we need. We needed this. We needed an animal joke book. That was it. And then I realized, hey, I have 2 kids back there asking a lot of questions about things. This would have really come in handy. This is Lip the Flap, questions and answers. I have a sticker here covering the price, so I don't know, because this is the kids' book. And so anything that has this sticker, it's the kids, and I just keep it on my bookshelf. But if you look in here, it talks about, so why is the sea wavy? And then you lip the flap, and it gives you an answer there. There is not an answer to every question, of course, but this one is so general. There's a lot of other ones that are less general. So here, like the one that is, what are germs? It's very specific. The one that I have is just questions and answers. It has over 60 fun facts. How can a boat float? We went on a ferry for the first time for the kids, and they asked, one of the questions Lane asked was if the wave is stronger than a boat. But well, a wave can move a boat, but for the most part, a boat's stronger. That was a really difficult question to answer with, and even with my just made up answers, but just lots of neat things, lots of cool stuff. Where do the rivers begin? We crossed over some rivers, we crossed over lakes. Lane actually knew a lot about lakes, and I was impressed about that. Not that I want to fact check. And we were also driving into a hurricane, so the weather book would have been great to kind of talk about why why sometimes it's just a breeze, sometimes it's a stronger wind, and then all that happens. Thankfully, it was Category 1 or Category 2. For us going into Rockport, we couldn't really tell much, but we were on the outer bands, kind of the dirty side, is what they would call it. I've been through only a few hurricanes. I'm pretty familiar with them, but it turned out really well. And overall, I would say that the biggest hit was the travel games pack. I think I posted about that earlier. And then something that I would take on my next trip would be the question and answers. And maybe even what I would recommend is the history of the U.S. So I'm going to post a link to these in the comments or the description. My spacebar wasn't working, so I'm going to get that going for y'all. But anyway, well, thanks for joining. It's been 20 minutes of fun. Don't forget, I have my mystery party coming on the 30th. So with a mystery hostess, you do not have to host a party. And that was a big misconception on my part. I thought that I would have to host if I won, and I did not want to participate. You do not have to. You come, you join, just hang out with us, hang out with me. Even if it's just me and you, who cares? Then you get all the prizes. What? I do need people to buy books though, because the more books that you buy, the more prizes the mystery hostess gets. But I had mentioned before, I have 3 envelopes with prizes that are not only book related, and then I also have some adult prizes, because we all know that if anyone needs a break, we need a break. And by we, just a collective we. Maybe the kids, but mainly we, adults. Adults do. And the kids could use a break, but right now they're having fun. What do they need a break for? They're good. Anyway, okay. Well, yeah, join in. It's gonna be this Thursday. Very chill, very relaxed. Pop in whenever. No really set time, no end time. We got it. We're good. Super chill. All right. Well, I'm gonna go check and see what the kids are doing here noises. So, all right, everybody. Well, like I said, check out some books. I'll post a link to these, and then the questions and answers, and we're gonna have fun on Thursday. Okay, all right, bye everybody. Y'all have a wonderful Tuesday. Okay, and have a great Wednesday. Okay, all right, bye guys.